It's very interesting that I'm going to talk about the accident today because it's been 35 years since it happened. But just yesterday, we received a card from one of his friends that used to be his roommates. And he said he still thinks of him and remembers, his positive attitude and his smile and his willingness to help everybody. So that was quite a testimony. My husband's from Lebanon, so after we finished our studies here, we went back. First we worked in Iraq for a few years, and then we were called to go to Middle East College in Beirut, Lebanon, to teach over there. And then we're sponsored to come here and do our doctoral degree programs, and we went back over there. So the second time we went back, it was a little harder because it was right in the middle of a civil war, and we were leaving our children here. And this is when the accident happened. So our third son was in his third year at a dental school when he went out one evening with a friend who had just bought a new car. This is our son who was especially friendly and outgoing and liked to have a lot of friends. He's the kid that when he went out to play and found some wildflowers, he would bring them, make them into a bouquet, and give them either to his grandmother or to me. But our son, whose name was Labib, went up on the hills behind Loma, and they were driving around, and it was drizzling and raining, and they got lost in the fog, and pretty soon the car rolled. Brand new car rolled down the hills, sideways. And he got thrown out and must have hit a rock and ended up with a traumatic brain injury from which he never woke up. The doctors at Loma Linda did their utmost to save his life, but they couldn't do anything about the brain. He was left in what they call the vegetative state, which is a very terrible word. And of course, we were devastated. We were back in Lebanon doing what we thought was the Lord's work in the middle of a civil war. And he was in the U.S., and he ends up in this terrible state. It was hard, maybe harder than a person dying, because a person dying, they're gone. But sometimes a person is there, but they're not there. He came home and was with us for approximately, I think, 7 years, and then he passed away. So, of course, you ask the usual questions. Why? You read every single book you can find to see why these things happen. And you realize after a little while, after you beg God, that this is just a part of living in this sinful world. I remember once a precious young friend came and told me, so many good people are praying for your son. God will definitely hear them. And that didn't sound right. I know that God is good. We are not good. And he doesn't just answer the prayers of good people. He hears and answers the prayers of everyone. And we're all called to live in this world which does have accidents and does have diseases, and there's cancer, and there are floods, and there are earthquakes, and we have to deal with those things. And somewhere along the way, I started thinking, there's my husband, he needs support. There's the other children that need support and encouragement. And what good am I as a mom if I fall apart right now and not try to think of their needs too? I'm very fortunate and lucky to be part of a large supportive family. And friends, of course, but I can remember one person especially. But she was a speech pathologist, And I think for months, she came every day and she sat by him and talked to him and tried to draw him out. And just by her being there was an amazing support to me. And it taught me a lesson that, you have to go out of yourself and help others too. So I did not stop working. I was still teaching and interacting with healthy kids and feeling very, very fortunate that I have the ability to be with young people and to see your students learning and growing and improving, and it's just amazing. I do feel very blessed. I do feel very thankful and very blessed for the life that I have at the present time. I remember seeing people who had met a tragedy, and it just made them angry and cynical. You could end up that way if you do not see things as a way to grow positively rather than just to think of yourself. And the only way you can do that is to ask for God's grace, to ask for God to have mercy on you, give you grace.